Hi everyone, John Cottrell here of MBODY Yoga, and this is Soft Flow Yoga. Have you ever thought to yourself, I wonder if I can do yoga in bed? Wouldn't that be great? Not have to get out of bed, but still have a yoga practice? Well, something just came to mind and I thought, I'm going to put a practice together where you can actually do it in bed. Yes, so yoga in bed. So I put together a few poses. It's actually a little sequence that you can do while lying down in bed that will help open your hips. Alrighty, so we're going to do some warm up first, and then I will kind of move the camera around a little bit so you can see from overhead how you can do yoga in bed. Alrighty, so our props today, just for our warm up, a couple of yoga blocks here. If you don't have yoga blocks, a couple of hardbound books will be just fine. Something soft to sit on, that could be a blanket or a towel or even double up on your yoga mats. Feel free to get also a big pillow or a yoga bolster, which I have here. This is an option. And if you're lying in bed, you'll probably have some nice big pillows around you. So let's go ahead and start in seated. Want to sit up nice and tall, feel free to sit on your soft cushion or your folded blankets. Just to ensure you have a nice lengthened spine. Take a moment to roll your shoulders, big circles with your shoulders. Roll them up towards your earlobes, back and down. Do that one more time, backward, and then go forward. All right, and then we'll just settle in and move into breath. Now you can do this part with your eyes opened if you'd like, or feel free to close your eyes. If your eyes are open, just take a soft gaze forward or even down at the floor. Let's tune into breath. So let's start with a few deep breaths. A nice full breath in, and exhale through your mouth, with a nice sigh. Do that again. Nice full breath in, and exhale. Now just continue with slow, steady breaths. In and out. Gentle. Intentional. You want to breathe in a way where you can feel your breath and listen to the sound of your breath. Doing this just really brings you to this moment. Keeps you fully aware and connected. More mindful of what's going on inside of you and letting go of the things that are going on outside of you. Slow, steady breaths. This is a meditative moment. Focusing, concentrating on your breathing. Very good. Just to bring a little bit more awareness to your breath, when you next inhale, just feel the breath rising upward. Fill up your lungs, very expansive feeling across the chest. And then when you exhale, as you're able, draw your belly button in towards your spine. You're engaging the abdominal lock. It's really just a light contraction of your abdominal muscles. Now you don't have to do that too strongly, but just a mindful pulling in sensation. Again, as you inhale, just feel the breath rise, fill up your lungs. Exhale, connect to your center, draw belly button in. Do that a few more times. This is just deepening our connection. Good. Let's take 3 more breaths like this. And we'll add a very simple movement. When you're ready, inhale and extend your arms out and all the way up into the air. Nice stretch. There we go. Then exhale, extend your arms out, reach across the room. Good energy in your hands and fingers. Finishing the exhale as you bring your arms down to your side. Do that again. Nice full breath in, reaching out with good effort. Reaching out, then all the way up. Imagine you'll touch the ceiling. Exhale, extend the arms out once again and down. Now go ahead and continue this on your own. Breathe and move at your own pace. Don't worry about moving exactly how I'm moving. Just want to be aware, one, of your breath, of course, and then of the movement and what shows up in your body. Notice the lengthening through the sides of your body, lengthening of the spine, the movement of your arms, reaching into the air, energy through your fingertips. Notice your shoulders. We can think of this as meditation in motion. And when we really think about it, yoga is the same thing. As we get into our moving practice, it's meditation in motion, paying full attention to what's going on inside of you as you're moving from pose to pose. Good. Let's finish this breath and take 2 more. Very nice. And just bring your arms back down by your side and relax here. Just notice that change from an active, moving body to a still body. Still remaining nice and tall in your seat. Bring your hands behind you. Just prop yourself up onto your fingertips. We're going to roll the shoulders back as a way to open up through the chest. And to open up a bit more, just lift the chin slightly. Now, we're going to inhale, press into the floor to activate the arms. Take a nice full breath in, fill up your lungs completely. Very expansive. You might even feel a stretch sensation across your chest from shoulder to shoulder. Exhale, pull your belly button in towards your spine. Let's do that again. Inhale, press into the floor. Feel the energy shoot up the arms. Breath rising. Fill up your lungs. Exhale, pull belly button in. And as you're able, squeeze your shoulder blades together behind you to activate your upper back muscles. Now, of course, we're doing this on our yoga mat, and we typically do this at the beginning of our soft flow practice. But if you were thinking about doing yoga in bed, you probably could do this in bed. Just sit up as tall as you can, prop yourself up using pillows and blankets, and you can go through this first part in bed if you'd like. 2 more breaths. And when you're complete, just lower your chin, neutralize the neck there, walk your hands towards yourself to sit up nice and tall. You can just bring your hands to your lap and just take another pause. Again, be aware of that sensation of shifting from movement to non-movement. Now we just did a minor back bend. Now we'll take a minor forward fold. We're going to change our leg posture. So if your legs are crossed here, uncross your legs, and we'll come to cobbler's pose or bound angle pose. That's the more formal name. Since we're doing hip openers in bed, this is actually one of the hip openers that you can do. We're going to do it seated, which you of course can do on your yoga mat or sitting in bed, but we also have a version of this that we'll do in bed, lying down. So first, feet together, knees out and open like so. Now there's probably space between you and the floor. So this is where your books or blocks can come in handy. Just go ahead and tuck your props underneath the legs so your legs have something to rest on so they can actually open in a relaxed fashion. Hold on to your shins or ankles and sit up nice and tall. Inhale for that length. Exhale, you can breathe out through the mouth. Feel the belly button pull in towards spine and start to hinge forward a little bit, leading with your heart and chin. Just a little bit. I'm going to scoop up my toes here and hold here. So I'm at a slight angle, keeping the back straight at the moment. So another breath in to continue that lengthening through the spine. Exhale, pull belly button in, and I think I can hinge forward a tiny bit more. Not much. In soft flow, we try not to go too far, nor do we move too quickly into our postures. Just to the point where you feel something, but it's not too intense. So in here, I still feel the lengthened spine, but I also feel a little sensation and light stretch in the inner legs. That's great for our hip opener. Now you're welcome to lower your chin and even round your back a little bit, which will take you a little deeper into the pose. Again, without too much intensity. So be mindful of how low you go in your poses like this. Let's continue with some deep breaths. And even imagine you're sending your breath down to the inner legs, just to help bring more circulation, more release, more opening, especially if they feel a little tight today. Let's take 3 more breaths. If your back is rounded, let's start by lifting the chin slightly, just looking out past the edge of your mat. That will start that re-extension of your spine. Even place your hands on your mat to help press and lift yourself back up until you're tall in your seat. And we'll just pause here. Alrighty, let's move our blocks to the side. We're going to make our way to our hands and knees. Now this, of course, you could do this in bed as well. I'm going to unfold my blanket, just so I have some extra padding for my knees and my hands. Just come to this tabletop posture, and we'll move through our cat and cow flow. It starts with cow pose. It's an inhale where you tip the pelvis back, creating an arched back. It's a little back bend. The belly kind of drops a little bit, lifting the chin, looking forward, and even imagine your heart is moving forward. So this is cow. It's the inhale, it's a back bend. On the exhale, tuck the pelvis under, which will round the spine. Pull your belly button up towards your spine. Feel how your back rounds, chin to chest. This is cat pose. And then just keep flowing. Inhale, tilt pelvis back. There's the back bend, look forward. Exhale, tuck the pelvis under. Belly button pulls up towards spine, chin to chest. Cat, cow flow. It's a nice way to get the spine in motion, get the hips a little bit more mobile. So this is great for your hip opener as well as some spinal release. And your breathing, of course. Inhale when you look forward or slightly up for cow pose. Exhale as you tuck the chin down. Don't forget to pull the belly button up towards the spine. Let's take 3 more breaths. And when we're complete, just pause in this neutral tabletop position. One thing I notice in a pose like this could be a bit tiring on the wrists. So I like to take a little break here. So first, tuck your toes and start to sit back towards the heels and move your hands in close until you can actually take your hands off the mat. I call this half hero pose because we're not going all the way down into hero pose. So just enough to free your hands so you can actually give them a little circle, just like that. Wiggle your fingers, even get a counter press. Since the hands were this way, just flip them the other way and even massage them with your hands. And then when you're done with that, if you're using some padding, let's crawl off the pad. Let's set it to the side. Let's return to our tabletop posture. Now these next poses are probably things you will not do in bed, okay? All right, because it is going to involve standing. All right, first we're moving into downward facing dog. I'm going to step the hands forward a little bit so the hands and wrists are out from underneath the shoulders. Even spread out your fingers. You'll get a nice stretch between each finger. It opens the palm so you get a nice stretched out hand. Push into the mat to have straight and strong arms. Tuck your toes again. Let's do one more cat-cow flow. Inhale to cow. Look forward. There's our back bend. Exhale, round it out into cat. Now hold cat pose. Strong straight arms. Make sure toes are tucked. Lift your knees off the floor and send your hips up into the air. You'll feel your chest sink a bit between the arms. Hips nice and high. Keep your knees very bent and you'll be in downward facing dog. I like to adjust the feet. I take them slightly wider and slightly closer to my hands. Again, keep the knees very bent. That will allow some mobility in your hips so you can send them up a little higher, maintaining a fully extended spine. Check in with your neck. Maybe nod your head or shake your head a little bit to make sure there's no tension in your neck.
Now look straight down so you can walk several steps forward until you're standing in the center of your mat. And then slide your fingertips towards your toes. You're in a forward fold here. We're going to change this. So inhale, slide your hands up to your shins or knees, extending your spine. Hold here. This is half forward fold. So you're parallel to the floor, flat as can be, like a tabletop. Keep a good bend in the knees. Feel the activation in the legs. As we inhale, we're still getting long. You feel like you're moving in these opposite directions. The crown or top of your head feels like it's moving forward. Your hips and tailbone are moving to the back of the room. When you exhale, we're still engaging the core center. In this case, pulling the belly button up towards your spine. All right, we're going to stand up all the way. Shifting the weight into the heels. Bend your knees, lower your hips like you're sitting down. Lift the chest. We're going to pause here at about 45 degrees. Still feel the strength in the legs. Take your arms out to the side like they were airplane wings. We're going to inhale, press into the floor with the feet stand up nice and tall. Reach into the air. Nice stretch. There we go. Exhale, bring your arms down to your side. So our first standing posture, we're now in mountain pose. Take a few moments to roll the shoulders like we did in seated. Big circles backward and forward. All right, we're going to do that same forward fold and come back up as our half salute to the sun, just gaining some mobility throughout the body. So let's return to mountain pose. Standing up nice and tall, focus is forward. Inhale, extend the arms into the air, stretch to reach the ceiling. Exhale, spread your wings, bend your knees, and imagine you're sitting back now into an imaginary chair. Fold until your belly touches your thighs. Bring the hands down, let your head come down too. Inhale, slide your hands up to your shins or knees. We're going to pause halfway up like we did before. Exhale, there's our flat back, tabletop position, half forward fold. Let's keep it moving, shifting weight into the heels. Bend your knees, lower your hips, lifting the chest. Take your arms out to the side, then continue standing, straightening your legs. Reach all the way up, big stretch. Imagine you're touching the sky. Exhale, bring your arms down to your side. Very good. All right, let's just hold here for a moment. All right, what we usually like to do here are some standing postures, a variation of Warrior One. Warrior One. All right, so standing near the top of the mat. This is a nice lunge, which actually will get into the hips as well. Let's start by softening the knees. So put a slight bend in your knees. Shift your weight into your right foot. Root into the earth. Hold here. Lean forward just a tiny bit so this left foot feels light. You can lift the heel and just tap the foot back, just like this, just until it just naturally stops. Now watch my arm. I'm going to turn my arm out like that to open the palm. You're going to do basically the same thing with the leg. So the whole leg turns, so you can set the heel onto the floor like that. And you're going to shift your weight back so you're centered. Make sure you are centered here, balanced on 2 feet. From here, just place your hands on your hips, push your pelvis down. At the same time, feel like you're getting tall. We're just making some space across the belt line. And turn to face forward. Inhale, extend your arms into the air. And the exhale, bend your elbows to about 45 degrees, actually 90 degrees right there. And gently pull the arms back very slightly just to feel some opening in the chest. Now you want some bounce here. You want to have some bend in the knees, feeling very centered. Now we are in a lunge, but it's not very wide. There's not a lot of space between the feet, and that's intentional. And the arms are bent. We're going to inhale, re-extend the arms straight up. Exhale, bring the arms down. Bring your hands to your hips, and then lean forward. Put weight into this front foot. Rise up onto your tiptoes behind you. Let's turn the leg in, okay, and step forward. So we've returned to mountain pose. Let's extend that mountain by reaching both arms up, and on the exhale, arms down to your side. So that's our variation of Warrior One. Let's do the other side. Same thing, let's start with soft knees, shift weight into the left foot, feel well grounded there, lean forward just a little bit so the right foot feels light, lift the right heel, tap the right foot back, pause, and when it stops naturally, okay, that back leg is going to open up like this on the other side there.
Opening up, plant the heel, shifting to center. There's our bounce. Hands on hips, push pelvis down, lift up, long torso, turn to face mostly forward. Now inhale, extend arms straight up. Exhale, bend elbows 90 degrees. Variation of our Warrior One pose. Let's hold here for several breaths. Don't forget to gently pull the arms back. You'll feel this immediately just across the chest. And breathe deeply to fill up your lungs in front. Very good. I like to hold postures like this for maybe about 5 breaths. When we're ready, we'll inhale, re-extend the arms straight up. Exhale, arms return down to your side. Bring hands to hips, lean forward, put weight into this front foot. Lift that back heel, turn that leg inward so all 10 toes are pointing forward. Little bend of the knees so you can step forward, bringing the feet together. And then lastly, inhale, extend the arms all the way up into the air. Exhale, arms down to your side. Very good. All right, now let's go through a variation of a sun salutation, moving us through some poses, getting the body warmed up nicely. Let me quickly adjust my mat, and then we'll get ready to move. Here we go. Inhale, extend both arms straight up. Exhale, let's fold forward. Another good hinge from your hips. Bend your knees. Sit back. Come down slowly. Let the hands land at your shins, ankles, or toes. Inhale, slide your hands up to your shins or knees, extending the spine. Exhale, refold all the way down we go. Plant the hands into the mat and start walking the feet to the back end of your mat. And then draw a straight line by lowering the hips to about shoulder level, and we'll be in plank pose. High push-up position, very strong posture. We'll breathe in. Exhale, bend your knees, send your hips into the air. And now we're in downward facing dog again. Feel free to make those adjustments by stepping the feet forward a little bit and even slightly wider. I like to do the same with my hands. Take my hands slightly wider here. Make sure to keep a good bend in the knees. Send your hips up a little higher. Nice straight spine. Notice how your chest and your head kind of dip between the arms. Your ears might run right alongside your arms. Now, let's step the left foot to center on the mat. From there, pick up your right foot and extend the right leg back behind you in the air towards the wall. On the exhale, bend your right knee a lot. Bring the right knee in towards your chest or chin. Shift your whole upper body forward until your shoulders are over your wrists. And just set the toes of the right foot down. Heel is lifted. Go ahead and set your left knee onto the floor too. Just walk your right hand back, or just take the weight off of your right hand, because we're going to go get the right ankle, pick up the foot and place it up a little higher on the mat here. Just behind the wrist is fine. This is a variation of getting into these warrior positions, just in case you can't step all the way up to the top of the mat. Relift the left knee. Same outer rotation of that back leg to get the heel on the floor. Now a lot of weight is coming forward, so I like to walk the hands back and see how my body shifts back and get some weight into that back foot. Rise up to fingertips with the crown of the head pointing forward. Right knee is very bent here. This is using this for leverage. Bring both hands up to your thigh to lift yourself up to about 45 degrees. Once here, make sure you have a nicely extended spine. Take the arms out like airplane wings. Hinge your way up till you're nice and tall and perpendicular to the floor, reaching the arms up and maybe lunging a little deeper. So this is our second version of Warrior One. I'm going to hold here for a moment, but let's relax the arms for a bit. Bring the arms down because I want to show you what you may be feeling. First, we have a right knee bend. Make sure the knee is stacked nicely over the heel or ankle, not past it. Okay? Now this back leg is kind of doing this opening thing. So as the leg turns back this way, your torso is going the other way. So you might feel something through here, right? Through the belt line, maybe in the low belly, and perhaps in the hip flexor or upper thigh. Nice release here, part of our hip opening work. Okay, let's go ahead and inhale, re-extend the arms up into the air. On this exhale, turn your torso towards the left side of the room, bringing your arms down to parallel, and there we are in Warrior Two. I'm going to relax the arms for just a second because I'm going to make an adjustment here. Because I turned a little bit, this feels a little awkward on my joints, my hip, my knee, and my ankle. So I'm just going to continue turning the leg out. This just makes this feel a bit more natural right there. You may not need to do that, but go ahead and make the adjustment if you'd like to. Make sure this right knee is bent, it's still pointing forward, and your arms are now parallel to the floor. Go ahead and turn your head so you're gazing out past the right hand. It's a nice stretch for the neck there too. Okay, side angle. We're going to reach out a bit to angle the upper half of the body and rotate the arms. Bring your hand or arm to the thigh. I'm going to place my hand here and reach this left hand straight up into the air. I want to feel very opened. Okay, right here. Just be aware if you feel like you're falling to the floor. Sometimes we try to go down too low and your heart is facing the floor. Here we really want to stay up as high as we can or just open up as much as we can. Okay, there we are. Now, we're going to stay here for just a moment. This is our side angle pose, which has some hip opening aspects to it. Let's bring this left arm down. I'm going to rise back up until I'm perpendicular to the floor again. We're going to take a wider stance, but we're not going to move very far. With this right foot, I'm just going to wiggle it forward a tiny bit forward. That was like 2 wiggles forward. And the left leg, same thing back with the foot. 1, 2. That's it. And then maybe lunge a little deeper. That's it. So going deeper into a pose doesn't have to be this magnificent thing. It can be very subtle. Let's re-extend the arms. Reach out and maybe reach out a little bit more. Rotate the arms. So now the arm's on the inner leg right there rather than on top of the leg. And then left arm into the air, staying quite open. Just deepening this stretch slightly. Very good. All right, finishing here. I'm going to once again lower the left arm, come back up to parallel, and return to face forward. Take the arms out front, flip the palms up, and carefully fold. Bring the hands to the floor, rise up onto my tiptoes behind me, like that. That just aligns everything nicely. Good press into the mat with the hands, strong arms. So the pressure is there, taking the pressure off the foot so you can slide the right foot back to meet the other, back to plank pose. Bend the knees, send your hips into the air, downward facing dog. Once again, make some adjustments with the feet and hands as you need to. Arrive in your pose, and we'll get ready for the other side for our Warrior One series. Again, I'm going to step my right foot to center on the mat to help stabilize and balance my body. As I now inhale, pick up the left foot and extend the leg back behind, reaching for the wall. Exhale, bend the left knee, bring it in underneath towards chest or chin, shoulders now stacked over the wrists. Set the toes down, heel lifted. Now, if you can get the foot up to the hand, then you can skip this next part. Otherwise, set the right knee down. Get the weight away from the hands. Let's use the left hand to go get the left foot. Step it up a little higher on the mat. It'll be just behind the wrist, perhaps. That's fine. Relift the right knee. Outward rotation of that right foot. Plant the heel. Step the hands back. Pull the body weight back so we're balanced here. Rise up to fingertips. Feel the torso extend. Forward. Top of the head's pointing forward. Same direction as your knee and toes. Let's get the hands up to the thigh, press up to rise up to this 45-degree angle, still elongating. Feel solid and balanced here, then extend the arms out to the side, rise up to perpendicular to the floor, arms straight up into the air, lift on the inhale, lunge on the exhale. There's our Warrior One position. And as we did before, let's go ahead and lower the arms just to relax and check in with the legs. Nice alignment, knee over heel or ankle, not past. That back leg is doing a little outward rotation, going that way while the torso is turning this way. Right hip flexor getting a nice stretch and lengthening effect. Now, let's inhale, reach both arms up. Exhale, turn your torso towards the right side of the room. Arms come down to parallel, warrior two position. Pausing for a moment to arrive in the posture, but I want to make that same adjustment with the legs. I'm going to bring the arms down. Turn my right leg out a little bit until everything just feels natural, more open in the hip, knee, and ankle. Just paying attention to those major joints. Let's lift tall, extend the arms, turn your gaze towards your left hand as it feels okay on your neck. Side angle pose is next. As we reach forward slightly here, rotate the arms, bring your hand or arm to the thigh. Right arm reaching straight up into the air. This is the initial pose just to introduce the lunge on this side. We're going to take it a tiny bit deeper in a moment. Be sure you're nicely open towards the right side of the room. Let's go ahead and lower the right arm. Come back up so we're nice and tall. And we're going to wiggle the left foot forward. There's my tiny movements. I did about 2 that way. Back foot, same thing. 1, 2, just a little bit. Lunging a little deeper. There's my deeper lunge. Re-extend the arms, looking forward. Now, side angle again, reach out a tiny bit more, rotate so the left arm is on the inner left leg, reaching into the sky, opening up through the chest. Now, because we went a little bit deeper without forcing it, we're still getting a wonderful hip opener in our side angle pose. Let's go ahead and bring this right arm down. Rise back up so you're perpendicular to the floor. Turn to face forward. Take the arms straight out in front. Flip the palms up and hinge to fold. Bring your hands down to the mat. Rise up onto the tiptoes. Plant the hands strongly. Push. Energy has now shifted to the hands, so you can slide the left foot back. There's our plank pose. Pause for strength. And let's bring the knees to the floor. Slowly sit back to hero pose all the way, right there, and then sit off to the side. Swing the legs around to the front, maybe scoot forward so you're sitting in the center of your mat. We are going to lie down, but you want to have your books or blocks. We're going to move into our bridge pose. Go ahead and roll down onto your back. And go ahead and bring the knees into chest. You might just rock left and right, some circles or figure eights just to get into the low back and hips. I like to move the feet since the feet are free here. We circle the feet in both directions, flex and point a few times. And if you can, even wiggle your toes. Bridge pose, it's a back bend. Set the feet onto the floor. I like to take my feet a little wider for a more stable body. Grab your blocks so they're ready to go. Inhale, fill up your lungs. Exhale through your mouth. Feel the air leave your belly, still engaging the belly. With that engagement, lift your hips away from the floor, high enough to slide your books or blocks underneath you. And then sit on your props, make sure they're in the right spot for good support, and there we are. So it's a supported back bend or supported bridge pose. I like to bring the arms down to my side and just rest here. What you can do actually, just to get a little bit more opening in the upper body, is actually with the arms straight on the floor out in front of you here, turn the palms up like that. And that way it rolls the shoulders open. You can even get that shoulder slightly underneath you, okay? Just provides a little bit more opening up through the chest. Let's just hold here. Take some deep breaths. Now we're getting close to doing our Yoga in the Bed series, a series of postures to open the hips. Let's take 3 more breaths in this bridge pose.
And when you're ready, just press your feet into the floor, energizing the legs so you can lift your hips, slide the blocks out from underneath you, and then slowly make your way down to the ground. Now extend the legs out front, reach your arms behind you, reach and stretch. Good. And then just relax the body and bring your arms down to your side. Turn the palms up like we just did in that bridge pose. Just imagine you're in Shavasana. And just completely relax. This is where we're going to begin our hip release or hip opening series in bed. Yoga in bed. Now starting from our Shavasana position, lying in bed, let's start with our hip opening sequence. So first you're just going to bend your knees and just place your feet on your soft mattress or cover, whatever you've got here, and just feel completely relaxed. We're going to do a hip opener. Sometimes we call this reclining pigeon pose. The technicalities, we actually call it eye of the needle pose. So let's keep the right foot on the blanket. You're going to pick up your left foot, cross left ankle over right thigh like this. And maybe even use your left hand to kind of push gently forward as an initial hip opener. So you can stay just like this if this feels okay in the hips as a hip opener, but maybe you want a little bit more sensation. So you want to pick up both feet and draw the legs towards yourself. This is where you thread the needle or go through the eye of the needle here. So left hand will go through that eye. Go ahead and clasp your fingers to hold on to your right shin. If you can't reach that shin, just hold on to your right hamstrings. And then just hold here for the stretch. Breathing. If you are lying in bed for this part of the practice, or you're considering doing this in bed, and you can certainly do this on a yoga mat like I am, you want to sit or lie in the middle of the mat or lie in the middle of your mattress, okay, especially if you have a queen size or a king size bed. If you have a twin or a double, this still can work. We might have a little less room. So you just want to maximize the room on both sides of you. All right, a couple more breaths here on this first hip opener, eye of the needle pose. And then we're going to set the right foot down and you're going to turn this into a twist. Flex this left foot lightly and you're going to twist to your right. This is why you need some space on this side. So the right foot will come right down, right there until it touches the blanket. Extend your left arm out to the other side, which will create a nice twist. And you might feel sensation not only in your low back, but in your hips. And you can even use this free right hand, maybe push this knee forward, making sure this foot is flat. And that might even change sensation in this hip area and low back. I can even feel a little pop and crack in my own back in doing this. Very nice. If you want a little bit more sensation, you can even extend this arm behind you just to get some length through here. That felt really good when I did that. 2 more breaths. I'm going to bring this left arm down. I'm going to unwind from this twist. The right foot's still on the floor, leg is crossed. But we're going to take this leg, uncross, kick leg into the air, light flex in the foot, and then slowly bring the leg down. Keep the foot flexed there until it lands here. This right knee is gently going to go out to the right side, down towards the mattress, or if you have a pillow or a blanket or something, because it may not reach all the way, go ahead and place something underneath it. A pillow will be great right there. And the right foot might just touch the inner left leg. So just a nice opening of the hip. I think of this as a tree pose lying down. So you might even keep that foot flexed, the left foot flexed as if you were standing in tree pose.
the hip opener in that tree pose posture. The only thing that we aren't doing are the arms, but you can actually add them if you want. Either keep the arms down by your side or extend the arms behind you, like so, if you have room behind you. I'm just going to keep mine down by my side at the moment. So a nice hip opener here. And again, 5, maybe even 10 breaths. You can stay in these poses as long as you'd like, especially since you're lying down, nicely relaxed, and just doing this hip opening series. All right, pausing here, finishing with the pose. I'm going to drag my left heel in to bend the knee, and then send that knee out to the left side, soles of the feet touch, like that. Now remember, we did this seated earlier in the practice. This is the lying down version of cobbler's pose or bound angle pose. This is a variation of the posture, a little bit more relaxed in nature, but now we're just getting both legs here. Now if this again is too much of an opening, feel free to bring a couple of pillows or books or blocks. Since you're in bed, maybe just take a couple of pillows or rolled up blankets if you have them, and just place them underneath your knees, just so you don't feel like the legs are really opening up with force. We want to have more ease here. Let's take 3 more breaths. And then we're going to bring the knees back up, plant the feet. Let's re-extend the left leg straight out in front here. Let's draw the right knee into chest, catch the shin in your hands, and just gently pull. Keep a light flex in the right foot. And we're going to take the knee to the right side slightly and keep drawing it back like you're reaching for your shoulder or somewhere behind you. We're moving into half happy baby pose. You can stay just like this for the posture, or if you're able, kick the leg up or kick the foot up, maybe grab hold of the ankle or shin, but if you're able, hold on to the sole of the foot here and gently press down, not too forcefully, just down slightly so we get this stretch in the inner leg on the right side. Remember to keep the left foot flexed. It's actually helping to stabilize this left side, because if you're on a soft mattress, you might feel like you don't have as much stability like lying on the floor, and so you might roll off to the right side in this case. So activate the left side by flexing the foot, even extend your left arm out to the side to help you stabilize your body. 2 more breaths. And then we're going to slowly bend, release, extend the leg out front, and return to this Shavasana type position. And just allow the body to completely soften. Take some deep breaths. So that's basically the sequence. We're going to do the other side in a moment. Just some nice light hip stretches while in bed. Okay, bend the knees. Set the feet down. Now, left foot's going to stay where it is. Pick up your right foot. Cross the right ankle over left thigh. Maybe a light flex of this foot. Send the knee forward. Just a gentle push with the hand is fine, not too forcefully. Pause here. Check in, because this might be enough of a stretch for your hips. If not, we're moving further. Pick up the left foot, draw the legs in. Let's thread the needle, so eye of the needle, right hand goes through, interlace fingers around the left shin. I can already feel this in my right hip. This is a great pose. How wonderful to be lying down doing this and Just think of this. This could be your morning practice. Maybe just set your alarm 10 minutes early, 10 minutes earlier. This takes about, 7 to 10 minutes to do thoroughly. And it just kind of opens you up, gets the breath flowing, gets your legs moving, and then you can just hop right out of bed. Alrighty, we're setting this left foot down, keep the leg crossed. Let's go for our twist. Let's send this foot over to the left side. If that's too far, remember you can place something underneath, like a book or block, something like that, or a pillow. All right, let me send my right arm over to the other side. Actually, I am going to keep that block there. It went all the way down, but it feels like it's too much of a pull for me on my right side. It's feeling a little tight today. So I actually am going to keep that block right there, but use my left hand to gently push. Yes, this is just right. Just the right amount of pressure. This feels good. I'm not straining. I'm taking some nice deep breaths. Not feeling overwhelmed at all. And those are the kind of questions you might want to ask yourself in a soft flow practice or any yoga practice. Like, how do you feel? Keep checking in with yourself. Notice how you're feeling. Two more breaths. All right, releasing and unwinding here. I'm going to uncross the leg, extend the leg up with a light flex of the foot, slowly lower the leg down, and then sending the left knee out to the left side. I'm going to keep that block right there. Imagine it was a pillow right there, and the toes might just touch the inner leg. Lightly flex the right foot. Here's our lying down tree pose. Again, feel free to extend the arms overhead or just out by your side like this. Remember to take your deep breaths while you're holding your postures. Remember, you're welcome to stay in these poses as long as you like. Since there's not much strain on the body, you can hold these. Let's just take 2 more breaths right here. Alrighty, moving into the next pose. I'm going to bend my right knee as I drag my right foot in till the feet meet. And then take that knee out to the side for our reclining cobbler's pose or bound angle pose. I'm going to place that block underneath this knee so it doesn't feel like I'm forcefully opening up through here. I can feel a gentle stretch in the inner legs. If I remove the blocks, it'll feel a little bit more forced. So this feels just right. And check in with the feet. Okay, I can bring my feet feel comfortable here, but maybe that wouldn't be great for you because maybe it's too much on the hips. It might even be too much on the knees. Feel free to slide the feet forward if you want. Just would take some of the pressure off the knee joints and hip joints if that's necessary for you. Let's take 3 more breaths. And when you're ready, let's bring the knees back up, plant the feet, hold there for a moment, and then let's go ahead and extend the right leg out in front with a light flex of the foot. We're going to draw the left knee in, catch the shin with your fingers, clasped fingers, and getting ready for half happy baby pose. Let's take the knee slightly out to the side or leg out to the side. Feel like the knee is moving towards your shoulder or past the shoulder. Flex the foot, kick the foot up,
If you can, hold on to the sole of the foot or maybe just the ankle. And maybe the leg only goes here. But if you can, maybe to a nice 90-degree angle if that's possible, gently pressing down. Don't forget, keep the right foot slightly flexed, keeping the leg strong, stabilized full body, because you want your whole back body to stay flat on your surface. And maybe even extend your right arm out to the side. And just 3 more breaths. Don't need to hold this pose too long. There we go. I'm going to bend the knee, release the foot, and extend the leg out. Bring the arms down by my side. Flip the palms up. Relaxed feet, relaxed body, finishing yoga in the bed. Now we've made it back to Shavasana, ready to completely relax and finish our practice here. Just settle in, feel your body just melt into the mattress or blanket or yoga mat. Your eyes can remain opened. Just take a soft gaze upward towards the ceiling, or close your eyes and take this journey inward. Still paying attention to the breath, but it's not a very strong breath, but you're still mindful of the sound and the movement of the breath. Come to complete relaxation. If your mind begins to wander, that's okay. Just notice at some point that you're starting to think of something else besides being here. And when you have that awareness, take a deep breath to bring you back to the present moment. Taking a deep breath, takes your full attention and it brings you back here. Do that anytime you feel like your mind begins to wander. This is a wonderful way to help you go to sleep as well. Crawling into bed and maybe your mind is still kind of scrambling through the thoughts of the day. To let go of those thoughts, start taking some deep breaths. It brings you back to the present moment, and it sets those thoughts to the side. And then continue with some slow, deep breathing, which may relax your mind as well as your body. And with good practice over time, you might find that doing this exercise will help you to fall asleep. Now, you're welcome to stay here as long as you'd like, especially if you feel very relaxed, and you might even drift off to sleep. Even as I end the practice, feel free to stay right where you are. When you are ready to move, take your time. Don't move right away. Maybe just bring a little bit more attention and energy to the breath. Take 5 slow, deep breaths.
And as you're breathing deeply, bring movement back into your body. It might start with wiggling of your fingers and your toes, and just let that movement circulate through your entire body. Breathe and wiggle until you have generated enough energy to then move. Go in slow motion. I like to bend the knees, bring my feet to the mat so I can easily roll to one side. And then press up to a seated position. You might bring in something soft to sit on, like a pillow or a blanket. I'm just going to bring in my block. You can cross your legs in any style or even extend your legs. And then just sit up nice and tall. Like we did at the beginning of the practice, just roll the shoulders back a couple of times and forward. Take some deep breaths with this. And then one last movement together. Inhale, extend your arms into the air. And exhale, bring your palms together and down to your heart. Take one more breath in and out. And as we come to the close of our practice together, we bow saying, Namaste.
Thank you so much for watching and participating in this yoga lesson. To help us with the channel so we can continue to bring you more content, please like the video and subscribe to the channel. It's really appreciated. Namaste.